right, man, let's get into it. So, currently, man, in the book club, going over a book called Atomic Habits
Mm-hmm.
by James Clear. Um, we're 3 chapters deep so far, man, and it's a lot of profound information already. A lot of game been given. So, man, one of the biggest things we went over in chapter 2,
Chapter 2. Yeah, I believe.
correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong,
chapter 2 for sure.
was was the 3 layers of change and why it's so difficult to make long-term changes. And his argument was most people. Okay, so let me go over the 3 layers of change first. So the first immediate outer layer is changing your
Outcome.
outcomes,
Mm-hmm.
which is um I do this and this should happen. You know what I mean? I think I explained that right. In a nutshell, but we'll give some examples. Then the second, deeper level is
Process.
the
Mm-hmm.
processes. So, if I create this system, then I should definitely have a new outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third deepest level is identity, which is okay, if I become this person that uses these systems, I should get these outcomes or these results. You know what I mean? So what most people tend to do is try to change just the outer level, which is the outcomes, and honestly, because it's the easiest one to change immediately,
Mm-hmm.
it's less work,
Low hanging fruit.
but it most of the time it doesn't, yeah, most of the time it doesn't translate into, long term change or improvement, because you're not getting to the core issue of, your problems or what you need to change or your habits. So his argument was that we should focus more on changing our identity first, which will translate into us creating new processes to eventually coming out into new outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
So bro, do you want to like give an example of, first give an example of someone just trying to change the outcome, and
Um,
then give an example of someone changing their identity first, then processes, then outcome.
yeah, man. So, in regards to changing the outcomes, let's just say a smoker, right? Person smokes cigs, weed, whatever it is, crack, whatever it is they smoke. This person wants to this person wants to not do that, right? So, immediately they go to the problem, right, or the outcome, which is them smoking the cigarette, right, or whatever they smoke. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of just saying, "Listen, I'm going to quit smoking," right? James Clear, he suggests, we kind of create a new identity for that issue, right? So we can change our outcome. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of that person saying that, I want to quit or I'm going to quit, or when someone offers a cigarette to them, I'm trying to quit. Uh, he says, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
listen, you got to think about it as if, listen, I'm not a smoker, right?" So what happens is when you've created an identity in your mind, um, you create this process. You create this process, which is, in this situation, it would be a series of questions you kind of ask yourself, right? So if someone asks you, "Hey, listen, can I, do you want to smoke or whatever it is?" Instead of saying, "Listen, I'm trying to quit," you would say, "I'm not a smoker." And what that does is it creates that in itself creates that process of you um, becoming the new identity that you're trying to live. And so, man, it goes so deep, and I don't want to get too much into it, man, because if y'all really want to, learn more about this, man, make sure you join the book club, the Uncharted Mind Book Club.
UM Book Club.
But for sure, man, it makes so much sense because you have to ask yourself, man, like, okay, who am I trying to become? Like, what am I trying to become?
Mm-hmm.
What's the higher version of me I wish to live one day? And And through
Mm-hmm.
asking yourself that, what happens is when you get approached by things that could alter or affect or go against the person that you're trying to become, you're more conscious of that identity and that situation, and you're more likely to go with the action that the person that you're trying to become would choose.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
For sure. For sure. You have to like look at yourself in that future tense of the person you want to become, and ask like, the person I want to become, like, would they be okay with me, smoking right now versus me coming up with a process, alternate process to handle the reason why I feel like I need to smoke, whether it be like stress from work or anxiety or kids, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So and then once you ask that person that question, the answer should be no. Like, I wouldn't be proud of the way I'm coping with this stressor. So that person, instead of smoking, they would actually possibly just, okay, I'm not going to smoke, let me sit down, let me quiet my mind, let me meditate, let me think on higher things, versus just automatically responding to that stressor with smoking. And then once you build a habit of finding alternates versus smoking, then that is easier. You change your process, and it's easier to achieve the outcome of not smoking once you started with identity first. I'm not a smoker. You change your process. Okay, instead of smoking in this situation, I'm going to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to read. I'm going to listen to music, and then your outcome will automatically be not smoking.
Sure.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was dope, man. And like Tyler said, if you want to know more, get a little deeper into the subject as
For
we go
sure.
along, jump into the book club. You know what I mean? It's free. We digging up free gems for
399, man.
everybody. So tap in,
And
man.
listen, we trying to have the largest book
Yeah, man.
club
But
on this side of the United States, man. I mean, we want this thing to grow so
for sure,
big,
for
right?
sure.
Because we we notice, man. I mean, let's be honest. Let's call a spade, man. Our people we don't really read as much as we should. You know what I mean? And we're trying to make it cool
Mm-hmm.
again, man. We're trying to make it trendy. We're trying to make it stick, though. You feel what I'm saying? We're trying to change our systems
Mm-hmm.
so y'all can change y'all systems, right? And achieve that
Mm-hmm.
happiness, right? So and if you want to know
And we
more
trying
about
our
that in
best to make it
itself,
entertaining, man.
yeah, I was about to say, if you want to know
Yeah.
more about that in itself, man, again, join the book club, right? Because this book that we're reading right now, Atomic
Mm-hmm.
Habits, is all about uh, creating new systems, just really changing who you are in your daily habits, right? Because ultimately, that's
Mm-hmm.
what is going to determine where you're at, tomorrow or the day after that, year after that.